The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Braxton's combat record scrolled across the holographic display. 300 alien dignitaries from across the known systems watched with a mixture of curiosity and contempt. Commander HFY Thor of the Krell Dominion was the first to break the silence with a chittering laugh that echoed through the crystalline walls. This is the warrior Earth sends to join the vanguard. The insectoid commander's mandibles clicked in amusement. Look at his record. Defeat after defeat. Lost causes, failed campaigns, retreating forces. The humans truly have no shame. Ripples of laughter spread through the assembled delegates. Elena stood beside Braxton, her jaw clenched, fingers curling into fists at her sides. She had warned him this would happen. The council didn't understand. They couldn't understand. Braxton remained motionless, his scarred face betraying no emotion. His steel-gray eyes stayed fixed on some distant point beyond the chamber walls, as if he could see through the station itself into the void beyond. Ambassador Thelrak of the Volosian Empire leaned forward, his 6 eyes gleaming with cruel interest. Battle of Proxima 7. Human forces obliterated. Siege of New Harmony. Complete orbital bombardment. 0 survivors. The Titan's Gate offensive. Annihilation by hive forces. He paused dramatically. Shall I continue? This record is a testament to human weakness, not strength. You should continue, Elena said quietly, her voice cutting through the mockery like a blade. Please, read it all. The Volosian's expression shifted to confusion. Then he shrugged his 4 shoulders and gestured for the display to expand. Very well. Darkspace campaign. Human fleet destroyed. The Ember War. 98% casualties. Red Sands Rebellion. Wait. The voice came from Counselor Meshera, a luminary known for her analytical mind. Her luminescent form dimmed and brightened as she processed information. Replay that. Show the survivor lists. The hologram shifted, and names began appearing beside each battle. Or rather, one name. Corporal Braxton Hayes, sole survivor, Battle of Proxima 7. Lieutenant Braxton Hayes, sole survivor, Siege of New Harmony. Captain Braxton Hayes, sole survivor, Titan's Gate offensive. The laughter died. The chamber filled with an uncomfortable silence as the pattern repeated again and again, scrolling through 23 major engagements spanning 4 decades of human warfare. Each conflict had been a massacre. Each time, every human force had been wiped out to the last man. Every time except one. Impossible, HFY Thor whispered. No organic being could survive such odds. Not once, let alone 23 times, Elena finished. Against the Krell, against the Hive, against the Volosians, the Dredge, the Harvesters, against enemies you fear, enemies you've surrendered systems to rather than face. She stepped forward, her voice rising. Every war humanity has lost, Braxton was there. And every time, he walked out alone. Ambassador Thelrak's translator struggled with his stammered response. Surely this must be falsified. Propaganda. No warrior could. I watched 5,000 of the Dominion's finest flee before 3 Harvester dreadnoughts at Kepler Station. Braxton spoke for the first time, his voice like gravel. I've seen the Volosian Empire abandon entire colonies when the Hive came calling. I've heard the Luminaries speak of retreat as wisdom. He finally moved, turning his gaze directly to the council. I've never had the luxury of retreat. He tapped his wrist console, and the hologram changed. Battle footage began playing, grainy, violent, desperate footage. Braxton carrying wounded through fire. Braxton holding a choke point against impossible numbers. Braxton dragging civilians to evacuation shuttles while the world burned around him. At Proxima 7, I held Tower 9 for 46 hours while the colony evacuated. Alone for the last 12. His voice remained steady, clinical. At New Harmony, I stayed on the orbital platform to manually override the defense grid after the AI corrupted. Everyone else took the last shuttle. There wasn't room for me. Elena's eyes glistened, though her voice stayed strong. At Titan's Gate, he held the rearguard so our medical ships could escape the Hive ambush. He fought for 3 days with a broken leg, no ammunition, and a combat knife. We don't lose because we're weak, Braxton continued. We lose because we refuse to abandon each other. Because someone has to stay behind. Someone has to hold the line. He looked at each council member in turn. And I learned a long time ago that if someone has to die so others can live, better it be someone who knows how to survive it. Counselor Meshera's form pulsed with urgent light. The Vanguard mission, it's a suicide assignment. We all know this. Deep strike into Harvester territory, no support, no extraction plan. We expected to send someone expendable. You're not sending someone expendable, Elena said, and for the first time, she smiled. It wasn't a pleasant expression. You're sending someone who's already been to hell 23 times and kept walking back out. The Harvesters think they know fear? They're about to learn what humans call a last stand. She paused. Except Braxton doesn't stay down. ZYX Thor's mandibles clicked nervously. This changes the probability calculations significantly. If even one asset could survive deep territory, I don't need to survive, Braxton interrupted. I just need to complete the mission. But fair warning, I have a bad habit of doing both. He pulled on his jacket, the human military insignia catching the light. I accept the Vanguard assignment. When do I leave? The council chamber erupted in urgent discussion, decades of military doctrine being rewritten in real time. But Elena watched only Braxton, seeing what she'd always seen, not a survivor, but something more terrifying. A man who'd been left behind so many times he'd learned to be the thing enemies left behind them. Walking out of the ashes when everyone else was dead, the Harvesters were about to discover what humanity had learned long ago. Braxton Hayes didn't lose wars. He just outlasted them. And in the void of space, that made all the difference.